Hey, my lovely crew. Thank you for tuning in to a new episode of the Pretty Solid Podcast. I am your host, Coach Christy. Welcome back if you are returning, and thank you for joining if this is your first time here. So, the Pretty Solid Podcast is just a regular, everyday podcast, where we're just talking about all things love, life, positivity. We're trying to build each other up so that we can be healthy, happy, and healed humans. Okay. So today's topic, you see it here, is the strength in your no. But I want to start off with this video that I saw, and then I'm going to go straight into that topic. So I was scrolling on TikTok and I saw this guy. I do not know. I don't know who he is. It was a guy that I saw. He was just randomly speaking, and he was talking about choosing your partner, making sure that you choose the correct partner. And what he was speaking about was choosing a partner not based off of looks and, a vibe and popularity and, how they smell or whatever. Those things will fade. He said that you need to make sure that you choose a partner that will be there when it counts. And he went on into describing, like, when you are in a situation where you may have someone very close to you fall ill and you're having to be in the hospital and help them and be there. And if you choose a partner that does not have the empathy and the space to hold when you're dealing with things of that nature, he was like, they're gonna be ready to leave. They're gonna be like, how long are we gonna be here? Because I thought you said 30 minutes. It's been an hour. When we leaving? You know, or do you want someone that's going to be there in that room with you, sticking it out, trying to talk to the doctors to help you and things of that nature? And I feel like that is just so important. I'm far past just the look of it. Okay, now if you easy on the eyes, plus, but baby, I can care. I can care less about all that. I don't care about no look. I don't care about no grade of your hair. No label that you wearing. I don't care about none of that. I care about that inside. What them insides looking like. That heart. Okay. What that inner work looking like that you have done on yourself. That's what I want to know. And so that's really what he was getting to. He was like, he said that example. He was like, even if you are sick and you fall ill, will you have a partner that's going to be there at the hospital, that's going to be talking to the doctors, making sure that they understand everything that they need to know about whatever you have going on? Can they multitask to make sure that things are still being taken care of at the house while you're on your bed of illness? Can they still take care of those things? Can they step up to the plate when you are at your very worst? Can they step up to the plate? And that is super important, that we really start looking at things of that nature when you are in this dating space of trying to find a partner. You want to make sure that somebody is going to be able to be well-rounded and well-versed in the areas that matter. Okay? So we're not necessarily talking about, girl, he don't even own a button-up shirt. You can go get him a button-up shirt. Ain't nobody studying about no button-up shirt. Is he a person of character, morals, and values? Is he or she? Are they a person that has true character, morals, and values that can offer substance in your life, that can truly be there for you when it counts? That's what you need. That's what you need to be looking for, is someone that's going to be there when it counts. Someone that can hold the conversation when you want to have the conversation about, hey, I'm being blackballed at work. Something is, they are against me because I've gotten this position and nobody wanted me to get this position. So I don't know what I need to do. I'm trying to figure out if I should go to HR. Should I, open up an investigation? Like, what should I do? Should I just quit and go? You want somebody that can sit down, listen to what's going on, and offer you advice instead of someone that's going to be like, I don't know. I ain't never dealt with this. I don't know. I can't tell you nothing, true. You ain't talked to none of your friends. You ain't asked somebody else. You asked me first. Now, hold on. Wait, what are we doing here? What is happening? Even if you have a partner that cannot offer advice, like, you know what, let me think about it. Let me ask. I have a friend or someone. Let me ask them so that we can make sure that you're gonna handle this correctly. Even that's okay. That's okay. If they say, let me gather some information, and then, that's fine. But still, someone that's still driving the situation to that they care and they want you to make the best decision in your situation. So making sure that you are truly, I thought that video, I wonder, I'm going to see if I can find his video. I don't know, because I refreshed it, and I hate when you refresh on TikTok. I refreshed it and I don't know. It went away, but the video was really good. And I thought that it just hit home. For me, I am a single woman and I am in the dating space, and I just date so much differently from how I dated in my 20s. Being in my late 30s, I date so different. And when he was saying those things, I'm like, yeah, that's, baby, because what I was looking for back in the day versus what I'm looking for now, you would think I was two totally different people. Hello, somebody. Like, baby, you ain't the same girl what you was looking for. So yeah, so you know better, you do better, right? And that's just one of those situations. So I just wanted to start off with that little tidbit first. Like, make sure that you're properly selecting your candidates, okay? And then that leads me into today's topic, okay? The strength of your no. And I believe that you have to understand the strength of your no to even get to that space of picking the right partner. Because you have to be so secure in saying no to certain things that just do not align with who you are, where you're going, and your purpose. Hello, somebody. You have to have the strength to say no if it does not align with who you are, where you going, and your purpose. Hello. You got to know those things. You got to know who you are, where you going, and your purpose to even know what you need to be saying no to. Okay. So I just got two areas that we're going to talk about today when we're talking about the strength of your no. All right. And this is male or female, both. Okay. So when you are in your dating phase and you are looking to date and you're, accepting candidates, so have you, then when you are in that space, you want to make sure that, for one, you have the strength to say no to things that will disturb your peace. Okay? Having the strength to say no to things that will disturb your peace. What does that mean? That can simply, I do love a good example. So I give examples, but we're not going to hold ourselves to these examples because there can be a million examples that I can give, right? But just an example, if you are, let's say you're dating someone and you all live far apart. You live on the south, he live on the north, okay? And he's like, well, I want you to come to my place because you stay far from me. You stay far from me. So come to my place. Not we stay far from each other, but you stay far from me. Hello, clock it. You stay far from me. And so I want you to drive to my place. Now, let's say you're starting off and it's early. So that's fine. Early. Like you may be like, okay, I can come over there this one time. But if you're in a situation where you are constantly having to go to someone's place, male or female, if you are a male going to a female's place and she's asking you or whatever, and you are doing all of the doing, Okay. And this person is saying like, well, because it's too far and I don't want to waste, I don't want to waste all that gas coming all over there to the south. So could you come over here to me? And if you feel like, if you feel like in your true heart of hearts, if I tell this person no, I got a sense that I probably won't even talk to them no more. Like they not gonna even text me no more or call me no more if I be like no. So I'm gonna just go. I'm gonna drive to the north side of town every time they ask me, because I know if I say no, they're not gonna call me. They're not gonna text me. That's what you want, okay? That's what you want. You want someone that's willing to compromise. So you have to have the strength to say no. Like if it does not make sense, and if you look at this situation and you're like, if I'm driving, he want to see me like 2 or 3 times a week. This is gas. Okay, I gotta get up. I gotta go to work. Don't let you have children. Hold on. I don't know. I think that let's see here. Yeah, I think my connection went out. We ain't gonna get an enemy, none of that joy. So anyway, where did I leave off? Yeah, I was like, don't let you have children. You got all these things that you have to put in place just to go visit someone. That's going to disrupt your peace, because you're having to set all these things up to drive all the way clear across town. Now, granted, they may have a list of things they have to do too, but it's called a compromise. So it's like, if I'm coming over here this week, next week you can drive over here. And that is if you're in a situation where both of you all feel comfortable going to one another's place, right? If you have this rule where no one can come to your place until you are, you know, a year's engaged, married, whatever the case may be, whatever rule you have set, if you have a rule to where it's like, I'm not letting anyone come over here, then there can't be a compromise where y'all go back and forth. But there can still be a boundary set to where I don't allow people to come to my house, but I know I will have to come to you. But since we do stay so far from one another, I'm only going to be able to come twice a month, just due to gas and me having to get my children in place, and me having to go to work and driving back. And, twice a month will do until we, maybe until you get comfortable enough to allow that person to come to your place. So it's a give and take, but you have to have the strength to say no when you can see these things that you would have to do just to get to this person. You have to have the strength to say no, because if you feel like if I tell this person no, they're not going to talk to me, then that's not the person for you. If the slightest thing can make them stop reaching out to you, stop contacting you, ghosting, or whatever the case may be, that's not the person. And you should not be saying yes to things in fear of a person letting you go. Because if you know who you are and whose you are, you should already know you're the prize. We are all prizes, okay? So you should know that you're a prize. You should know, like, have some standards. A lot of times where people go wrong is that you don't have standards set for yourself, and then the other person feels like they can walk all over you. They like, oh yeah, this person ain't going nowhere, baby. Mm-hmm. The self-esteem is so low. I know I can do whatever I want to do. So you have to have those boundaries set, and you have to have the strength to say no to certain things. So saying no to things that will disrupt your peace. All right? Have strength in that. 2, you're going to say things that are going to be against your morals, your values, and your character. All right? We're saying no to anything that is out of that realm. If it's out of the realm of those 3 things, my morals, my character, and my values, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it to appease you. I'm not doing it to make you feel like, oh yeah, she ride or die, she down, she gonna do whatever. No, I'm not. I'm not riding. I'm not dying for you. Hello? So we're not doing any of that. When it comes to your morals, values, and character, let's just say this person, you don't drink, you don't smoke, you don't partake in any of that. And they like, man, you don't do none of that. I don't think I've ever met nobody that don't do none of that. Well, hi, nice to meet you. That's what you say. You don't be like, oh, well, you know what? I think I will. Let me try. If that goes against what you've already been standing for, there's no need to compromise now because you feel like, oh, he trying to make me sound like I'm a nerd, or I don't do nothing. I'm no fun because I don't drink and I don't smoke, or whatever the case may be. Well, we up in age, so people smoke cigars. So, I don't want to try no cigars. So, he's saying that I'm no fun. So I just let me try it. Let me try it. Now, if you want to try, fine, but don't do things because in the back of your mind, you're feeling like, oh, they may think I'm a prude. They may think that I'm no fun, so I'm not going to do it. No, don't do it. If it goes against what you want to do. If someone is trying to sleep with you and you are on a journey of not having sex, then the answer is what? What, class? Yeah, no. Absolutely not. We're not doing that. No, I'm waiting, okay? And listen, that'll be a whole nother conversation for another day, okay? Because, anywho, if it goes against where you're at in your journey, say no. Honestly, what you will realize is that a lot of people will respect you because you're standing on business and you have certain standards for yourself. Now, they may not even understand the standard. They may not even agree with the standard. But in the back of their mind, it's like, man, that's solid. Because a lot of times as women when you're dating, especially if you're dating men that typically don't have an issue with getting what they want, you will be quick to be let go in some cases, because if you have a man that's used to women just saying yes to whatever and you're coming with a no, they're like, oh, child, I don't too much getting no. I don't get rejected. I don't get no's. I pretty much get met with what I want. Well, not here. And you can be nice about it. I'm very nice when I say no. But I'm not going to do anything that is going to go against my character, my morals, or my values, and what I believe for myself. And so I hope that you do the same. I hope that you get to a place to where you feel comfortable enough about yourself. So outside of saying no, you have to know who you are. You have to really step outside of dating and understand yourself and pour into yourself. Do the work that you have to do to make sure that you're confident enough to say no. Make sure that you're confident enough in saying no and understanding if this person does not still want to talk to me, I'm okay. That won't be the end. I will wake up the next day and I'll still be able to breathe the same oxygen that others are breathing. If they say no, there will be somebody else that will come my way that will be much better. All right? So you may get into this thing of feeling like, well, when will it happen? Well, it will happen. But you have to work on yourself. If you were in a difficult space of saying no, you really need to make sure that you are focused on the inner work within, to make sure that you understand who you are and the power that you truly possess. So Moving forward, making sure that when you're in your dating space, anything that will disturb your peace, you make sure that you check that at the door. Anything that will go against your character, morals, or values, you check that at the door and you say no to these things. On the flip side of that, if you don't have an issue saying no, and you say no to 99.999% of things, we're going to work on the opposite. We're going to need you to start opening up and saying yes to a couple of things. Now, still nothing that's going to go against, but I think there are a few people out here that they love the word no. So if you are in that category, you like, oh, baby, I ain't got no. I say no to everything. Now, I want you to work on opening up a little bit, opening up and kind of seeing things. Don't be so guarded. Don't be so guarded to where your heart is now hardened and it's cold. All right, because sometimes people get into this mode of being so hard because you have let your past experiences turn you sour. And we don't want that either. So we don't want you having strength in your no and it just being hard and sour and bitter. We want your no to be in love, pure love, and we want it to be out of a place of positivity and just understanding who you are, standing tall in who you are and knowing who you are and just saying that doesn't align with me. And so I'm saying no to that. I'm still interested if it's no offense to what they're asking and you're just basically setting a boundary. I'm still interested in getting to know you, but that part right there is a no. Yeah, that's a no. Okay, and move forward. And if that no means you don't hear from them ever again, that was not your person. They were never intended to be your person. And it's a good thing that you find out early. Like I said in my last video, we don't want to waste time. We don't want to waste year after year after year with people that are not assigned to us. I want who God has for me. I want my person. I don't want just know anybody in my life that just think that I'm cute. I just don't want it. I want who's assigned to me. I want the people. I want the husband. I want all that who's assigned to me. So in that journey, I'm going to have to say no. And I have to understand the strength of that no to get to that person. If I say yes to everybody that approaches and I truly just and I allow them to just do whatever, baby, I'd be so worn out. I'd be so worn out. Y'all don't understand. The no's I have had to give, all right? All within love, but they have been issued out by the dozen because I don't go for anything. And you shouldn't either. You should not go for anything. You should not allow anything to go to just happen to you. All right? So moving forward, make sure if you write it down, make sure that you understand those two areas. You want to make sure you have strength in that no. All right? Your peace. That's number one. And then your morals, character, and your values is number two. All right? So we got all that jumbled up and we are ready to roll. All right? We're ready to get out here in these dating streets if you're single. And I want you to date better. I want you to date healthy. All right. And I want us to just move forward in a way that's positive and it's uplifting. All right. So I hope that this video was good. I hope that you got something from it. If you or someone that you know are in need of any type of life coaching, in need of singles coaching, communication coaching, anything of that sort, please feel free to go to the website. It's coachchristy.com. Book a session and let's start working. Let's work to help you become a better version of yourself. Okay? If not, and you don't need any of those resources, you can just go to the website to check it out. But if not, I do want you all to subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you're subscribed so that you know when I post a new video. Make sure that you're following me on all platforms so that you see all of the content that's being posted. I have been posting so many things, restaurants, lifestyle, funny, workout, all types of content. So make sure that you all are following on all platforms just to join the community and be uplifted in a positive way, right? So I love you all. Thank you all for being here with me for this video. Stay tuned. We'll have another video coming out next week. I don't know what topic I'm going to hit on just yet, but next week we'll have a new video. So you all stay tuned. And so until the next time, you all be happy, be positive, be you. Peace.